40 chess. Yeah. 40 chess. 40 chess. Let's get it.
Yo, is that Tito?
40 chess. 40 chess. Hey. 40 chess. This a trade show. Patreon where the trades go. Tap in and watch. That's what you came for. Ain't gotta say my name. They know my name, bro.
What's good, man?
We got McNutted in ATM. Always start off the show with a trade from them. You should always make sure that your trade is in. Patreon, why not be a Patreon? Know you wish you could spend every day with them. Tap in and say what you gon' say with them. South Harmon can fill up a stadium. Next time you log in, make sure that you bring a friend. We about to kick off, let the day begin. Go follow the socials. 40 Chess FF is posted. If your trade is an F, you get roasted. Go like and subscribe for the crew. Apple, Spotify, and the YouTube. You know Cooper got the walk too. Let us give you a walkthrough. 40 Chess. This is 40 Chess.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Dynasty Trade Show. We're glad you're here. Hope everybody's having a good Saturday, except for Kade McCaffrey. Fuck that guy forever.
Fair. I think that's a fair assessment.
Fuck, man. I mean, how many fucking weeks do I have to watch him play quarterback? Like, am I being punished? Is this what this is?
Yeah, I think, Mike, you have to remember, for all the good things you reap, as a guy out in Iowa, knowing the whole, crops thing, right? I didn't have to say it the old way. But I'll give you your crops. When you reap the good stuff, just remember you have to have some kind of bad shit coming in too. You've had a lot of good calls on the Dynasty train, on the Dynasty front. So I feel like this is maybe part of the back end punishment, if that will, even it out a little bit.
This is probably going to be his fourth game this year with under 100 yards passing for a game.
I mean, I like archaic is the way I would frame it, like if I was using a one word, archaic.
That's a nice way of saying shitty. It's a real nice way to say shitty.
Retro. Come on, give me. It's
well, if you guys want
good.
your deals featured and you want to listen to me live bitch about Kade McCaffrey every single week, patreon.com/South Harmon. $5 tier gets you access to the trade channel where you can drop them in there. And, you want to go up to the Savage tier, you get the full brunt when I'm
you
drinking.
get the whole kit and caboodle for the Savage tier, right?
It's rough, Adam. But here we are, Washington driving. God damn it. All right, let's get some trades before I punch my monitor.
We will, I promise. But let's at least, as you see behind Mike, it's not. Speaking of the unarchaic offense, the Ohio State, if you will. Although for the first half last week, you might not have known. Ohio State, buddy. If you want something good behind you, if you want to get a signed piece of memorabilia, if you're into collecting stuff like that, make sure you go check out Sign Shit. They have some box breaks that can get you what I would term as a steal. Not quite actual theft. It's not free, but it's as close as you get without being charged for something. So go check out Sign Shit SH. Don't forget the .it. Let's get into trades, Mike. I'm with you. Let's see what you did. All right. Let's see. We're going to start off, as you know, as Fizzle says on the show, to start it off with one of our own, Mike. BTC1. So this is the Berry League, right? There's 3 of them.
Berry's Triple Crown.
Bears Triple Crown. Go ahead, Mike, and give everyone the lay of the land on that and how that league works, and then we'll get into this trade here.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's 3 independent leagues that are all tied together, too. There's a big pot, depending on who wins the Triple Crown, the collective total of 3 leagues. So it's in your best interest to, try to be good in all of them.
Yeah, try to win the Triple Crown,
Try to win the Triple Crown. This trade, I'm not going to even lie to you. It's spicy because it's Deshaun Watson and we buried him. Adam, I said this before the game on Sunday. So
this is the one you were talking about to me? Okay.
I set it out and then forgot it was just chilling out there. And then, a day later it gets accepted and I'm like, fuck.
So settings are not on here, but this is a best ball league, correct? 12 teams?
Yep. Yes, sir.
Okay. So, I mean, listen, here's the thing, right? Watson, let's call it what it is. Unless we start to see this guy have a better type of body language, the offensive line get better, and him stay in the lineup, like he's starting to get really scary as far as his just amazingly with that type of a contract as far as the ability that he's going to be playing in uniform as a starter. That said, though, I think the crazy part is, as bad as it is, I'm not saying Diontae Johnson should go 1-for-1 for McCarthy, but for as bad as it is, Diontae, I think kind of in a weird way saves the deal if Watson can find a way to keep the job.
If he can find, it's a reasonable down tier for a team that's trying to compete to get the 0 off your roster and get some points on there, or some players who might make your lineup. Now, Curtis Samuel was just kind of whatever. I just fucking threw him in because it's not a best ball trade for me on a down tier if I don't do the 3-for-1. Like, you just got to do it.
Dirty Bird is putting salt in your wound, buddy. Here you go.
Hey, I mean, we're up 13. We got him on a 4th down right now. Just made him take a timeout. So we'll see. Okay? Like, it's looking good for getting a dub. It's just fucking frustrating to watch this, as Adam said, archaic offense. Like, we're basically one of the service academies at this point. And I can't even say that because Navy's out there slinging the fucking football.
Dude, Navy against the spread is untouchable. I mean, come on, right? I mean,
fucking nuts. But, yeah, so back to Watson. It doesn't look as good as I felt before I said it, on Sunday before the game. But if he does hold on to his job, Diontae and him, it's better than carrying a 0, even though I'm sacrificing dynasty value. But I'm trying to win the fucking Berries Triple Crown, the inaugural Berries Triple Crown. I want to be at the top. I think right now I'm in 3rd place overall.
Okay.
Standing.
So you're right. You're absolutely right there. I mean, I think here's the reality of this trade for me when I think about it. There's Diontae Johnson right now. I think the range of outcomes for him is actually pretty wide. Now, you may feel however you feel about that. The reason I say that, though, the Diontae that we saw when Andy Dalton's playing well for those 2 weeks, Mike, honestly, one of the best 12, 15 receivers in the game, that version of Diontae. That said, the games when Bryce was in there, and then last week, it's like, that's a much different version of Diontae Johnson, I guess, is... All that said, like, if you told me that there's a chance and a range of outcomes, a world where Diontae ends up finishing as a top 20 receiver, like, I'll tell you that I make the case that this feels terribly gross and awful, but just if that was to happen, you end up fine on this trade, honestly. That's the crazy part about it. Yeah. But
BTC won like some strategy to put into it too. That was probably my weakest one of the 3.
Okay.
As far as this season's gone so far. So definitely needed to kind of get some zeros off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I also got Michael Penix in this fucking league, which Pello's trying to get from me as we speak.
Rightfully so. If you're in 3rd, I mean, come on. Now, and as we speak, I'll defend that as much as I can, but I'm just going to tell you that if you're JK Inc., I mean, holy crap, we're no longer just kidding Inc. We are so serious now. I'll take the JJ McCarthy side if I'm getting rid of these pieces in a rebuild for sure. Yeah. I mean, obviously, I think Watson each week, whether you're staunchly in or out, has become more of a sinking ship that makes this trade look a lot different. Like, if you tell me right now what you feel about Watson currently as we're going into week 6 versus, like, let's say before week 1 started, we're talking about a massive, even as bad as he felt, a massively cratering asset. So that's part of it.
I imagine in that auction too, because this was an auction draft for all 3 of them, live auction, which was fun, except for the second one where we didn't have a guy show up and we watched what the computer does in an auction draft when it auto drafts. That was fucking miserable.
Really,
it was miserable for the rest of the league because you just nominate somebody, the computer bids them up to like $1 billion and just blows all their money, like they T-Rocket in an auction, where they walk away with like 4 players.
That's tough.
Yeah, it's a tough look. But in the auction, I imagine Deshaun Watson probably went for what I got, more than what I paid for McCarthy.
You know what? That makes me feel a lot better. What I failed to mention was, while I was scaling back leagues, Mike, this was going to be like my one league that I did. I was going to try to do all 3 because of the way it's 3 in 1. But Mike, I wasn't going to be able to I was literally going to be on a plane during the drafts, and I'm like, I don't know how you do that. I'm not even going to mess with having someone else draft for my team, so I have to bail. So unfortunately, I'm not in this league, but I am curious to see how this goes out and how this trade goes down. Next week, Mike, I'm hoping that we get a trade where McPenix is on the show to start off for this league, huh? Fellows in your DMs, right?
Maybe we might get one out there, huh?
Let's get to the star of the show, the thumbnail. Mike, is he back? Like, is he all the way back? The kid from Cleveland, Ohio. Kareem Hunt is in this trade, okay? So right now, if you're Mr. Wonderful, you are taking on Troy Franklin and Christian Watson. So Christian Watson hurt, obviously. It seems to be a recurring theme with him. I mean, I don't mean to be a broken record, but I do. He's always hurt. We got Troy Franklin who, boss, pre-draft process to now, him or Watson, farther falling is tough to make a decision on. But you're getting off of those assets, but what you're getting back is kind of turd-like values, I guess you'd call it, right? Juju Smith-Schuster, before this 130-yard performance, you're like, what the fuck? It's over for Juju, right? I mean, but he has his best game in 1,400 days.
Damn.
Yeah. Put some math on that, buddy. Kareem Hunt.
Jesus.
Yeah, Kareem Hunt, though, Mike, is... Dude, the Carson Steele thing, can we just safely put that to rest until Kareem Hunt's hurt? Like,
yeah,
it's over. You ain't
Did it ever really start?
No, well, the idea formed, I guess.
Okay. The inception.
Yes, and then we have a fourth and $250 in fab. America's Game Best Ball Start 12, Mike. This is one of those deals where, in a best ball league, I'll call it, right? The Juju Kareem Hunt and the 250, not even really including the fourth as a piece, getting those three is one of those type of deals. This is one of those type of deals that on the surface you just want to puke. You just kind of don't like anything going on. But I'll tell you, you make 3 or 4 trades like this that are gross, that work. This is how you sneakily build a best ball roster that's going to have a hard time losing. Honest to God. Like, I know that sounds crazy, but I've seen it done. I've done it. This is the type of trade that you can make 3 or 4 times to really solidify your team in best ball.
I like the deal for Matty Gomes. Like,
yeah,
if you look on it, though, I mean, Watson is probably worth all this by himself. If you still believe in Watson. Dynasty
value-wise, that's exactly the way to say it, Mike. The dynasty value of Watson outweighs all that stuff on the bottom, but in best ball, it doesn't really matter.
Doesn't really matter if I'm Matt Gomes and I'm in second place at 8-2 right now. Watson isn't doing anything for me. I don't know what this injury's like, if he's coming back, what he's going to look like, etc. Can he actually stay fucking healthy? It's always the allure of Christian Watson, what he could be.
Correct.
And we see glimpses, and then we get excited, and then I buy in the off season, and then I get fucking hurt again.
No.
Listen, I just watched Christian Watson in my home redraft league. I mean, it's only a 10-team shitter league, that I can never seem to win. I watched him get dropped this week. And I was like, oh, fuck yeah, I'm going to go pick up Christian. I can't quit him. But if I'm Mr. Wonderful, yeah, I take this shit back. I let you have Kareem Hunt and Juju Smith-Schuster in the fourth and a bunch of fucking fab. I don't give a fuck. And the Troy Franklin thing, it ain't like he's going to hurt my rebuild right now. Like, he's actually probably helping it. But if I'm Matty Gomes, like, this isn't a giant price. Like, this isn't anything to just kill it. But you put it on the thumbnail. You put Kareem Hunt on there, and I put it in the fucking title. Is Kareem Hunt a league winner for like dirt cheap?
Like, right. I put and I feel like we yinged and yang that pretty good, right? The title of the video, like, is he a league winner? And I put, is he being slept on? Like, I think the answer could be yes to both. I think I'll just tell you this. I think, Mike, while it seems like we've been preaching for at least this whole year and a lot of last year. We were not the first to the party on this, but the running back values need to be shortened immensely in Dynasty. I don't think that the typical Dynasty gamer is anywhere near that level of value switch that we're into a redraft type of a mindset for the running back position. Because if that's the case, you can't give me 49 names ahead of Kareem Hunt. You just can't.
No.
You simply cannot do it. It's impossible. So on that statement, though, this is why I like this trade. Mike, because if I can buy in for like a Christian Watson who's currently not playing type of a value, and get pieces back in best ball, what's my risk here? That's I guess the truth of this matter. Now I'm not telling you. I think Mr. Wonderful should be taking the other side of this. If you're trying to get off of these type of turds in a rebuild, dude, don't act like you're going to command, the entire farm for these guys, right? But this is a great deal because Mike, the risk is if Kareem Hunt gets hurt or ends up turning into a pumpkin, Juju ends up being dead. You traded away a dead player that has some name cachet, or used to anyway, in Franklin. You traded away an injured receiver for Green Bay that, frankly, I don't even know when he's healthy if he's going to end up being the one. Like, he just doesn't look to be that at all. So my risk is so low. What happens? What happens? The greatest part about it too, I think the $250 in Fab equal, Mike, is that is like the that's like the get out of jail free card. If everything else fucking goes wrong, I might be able to find the next Kareem Hunt or whoever the hell else is out there on waivers later on, right? So I think, to me, great form deal. I will lean Matty Gomes' side as getting, like, for his situation more, but I think if you're Mr. Wonderful, you're having a hard time getting more than this.
I think the only critique I'd have for Matty Gomes is, like, I understand that it's good for Mr. Wonderful and he wants to trade this stuff away, right? Because it's mostly junk to him. He doesn't give a shit, right? So if I got you in that position and I'm like, Christian Watson at least is a name and has some dynasty value, it's a good move for me. But I look at Mr. Wonderful's team and I see, like, it's a 2 tight end league and Dawson Knox is on his roster, and I'd be like,
you're saying, can I get another throw in here? I gotcha.
Throw fucking Dawson Knox in for me, man. Just toss him in. You know what I mean? Like, and if I'm Mr. Wonderful, I'd probably still do it. Like, here you go, fucking take Knox too. I don't give a shit. Doesn't mean shit to me. Go for it. That's the only thing. I just put a little bit more pressure on him. Like, just give me that one more piece, man. And ideally too, like, you could keep your 4th if you wanted. I don't give a shit. Keep the 4th. Because I probably ain't going to be able to do anything with a 27 4th that's going to help me compete this year anyways.
Mike, you want to go take a rewind back in time? I know, like, the AOL Instant Messenger is finally dead now, but I feel like I'm back there. This is like that type of wise at the end. It feels like I'm back on AIM. Hey! It's like talking to some chick on there. What's up, buddy?
In the wave.
Way to go. Yeah. Well done. I will say well done. I think well done on both sides. I think this is a good trade for either.
I personally like it, if we're talking about this, Adam, when somebody sends you AWTYSM and I look at it and I go, how the fuck they know? Like,
they know.
How the fuck you know? How the fuck you know?
Yeah.
I just found out.
Well, some people are late, some people are early, some people are just on time. Speaking of just on time, it seems like Mr. Wonderful was that. Dynasty Football Key, what's going on, man? Appreciate the popcorn. We are here for it. Shockwave 360, Mike, is he just on time to acquire Dak Pittman in a second, or are you really more so on time for the Smitty coming out of an injury here on the other side of this trade? What would you prefer here? Tony Pollard, Devontae Smith, Tucker Kraft in a third, or Dak Prescott, Michael Pittman in a second?
The Pittman thing's interesting because he was going to be dead, and then now he's maybe not dead. I don't know what's going on.
The only thing about Pittman is right now, regardless of if he's truly, like, injury-wise dead, I don't know that he's not dead either way. I'm hoping for better things.
Here's the thing. I love Smitty. I love Smitty coming back after the concussion. I love they had their bye week, and by all accounts, apparently they got some shit worked out, and they get the Cleveland Browns this week. So I'm either ready to be extremely excited for the rest of the Philadelphia Eagles season, or I'm ready to write this shit off forever. So it's one way or the other. I'm going to find out tomorrow.
Mike, listen, I think that's a good way to look at it. Let me just tell you. Let me give you a little peek into the window. You're gonna be just fucking fine, buddy. This Cleveland thing is a disaster and a half. All right.
I don't know, but so right now with the way things stand, I still believe in Michael Pittman. The back injury thing's scary, whatever. But Smitty over Pittman in the second, pretty fucking comfortably.
You say hold on real quick. You said that you have a hard time quitting Christian Watson. I think you have a hard time quitting this Michael Pittman just as equally, if not higher.
Too.
Okay.
I do too, but I'll still take Smitty over Pittman in the second.
Okay, with you.
No
Go
question
ahead.
about it. Dak Prescott way over whatever fuck Tony Pollard, Tucker Kraft in the third is.
So this one's a home run for you?
This is a home run slam dunk for sure.
Okay. I think the way I'm looking at this personally. Well, okay, let me ask you if we did this. If we compare it more this way to me. Quarterback for receiver, would you rather have Dak or Devontae Smith in a lineup start 10 right now?
Dak.
Really? Okay.
Still rather have Dak.
I think I would rather have Smitty, but I think that makes that one close. I won't actually fight you. If you want to take Dak over Smitty, I'm not going to go. I get that 100%. I think there's a conversation to be had there. I think it's close enough. I will say, though, Smitty, I need Jalen Hurts in this offense and Smitty to play like I was hoping. Like, we're coming into the season, we're like, man, this is going to be Smitty's time to take the fuck off. Like, that's what I'm ready to see from Devontae Smith. If that Devontae Smith exists, I do want him over Dak, just because of the landscape of quarterback. That said, I don't know if it's for sure coming. Because now
Caleb Johnson scores a touchdown, I get a visible reaction of excitement.
I knew there was an Iowa thing going on. I just didn't know exactly what it was. I was hoping, for your archaic sake, it was a pass, but unlikely, huh?
We're good. No passes. We don't throw the football here at Iowa.
It reminds me of like my high school days, Mike, as a wide receiver on the outside, just blocking. Not really. Kind of just over there doing nothing. I was like Kenneth Walker. Yeah, I was kind of like Kenneth Walker, just standing still. You know, the guy goes in motion to fuck DK. What's that all about, dude? Come on.
You're basically a wildcat quarterback on the outside. You know, when they bring the wildcat receiver in to take the snap. And put the
I'm Jared Goff
outside.
On the outside. That's tough, buddy. Damn.
You don't even need to cover you.
Oh, sorry.
Ain't no way that ball's getting thrown that way.
You're not wrong. I think I had 10 catches on the year, and that was not good.
Fuck, you'd be the leader receiver for Iowa, boy.
That's fair. All that to say, Mike, Tucker Kraft, Tony. If I'm going Tucker Kraft and Tony Pollard versus Pittman now, the second and the third, I think, is where it's going to weigh out. I'll still go Shockwave side here because of the second and the third. But if you told me it's Tony Pollard and Tucker Kraft for Pittman, I'm okay taking the other side there too. My problem is I don't understand, or don't think, at least personally when I'm looking at it, that the second and the third need to be in this trade. If I'm giving you Dak and Pittman, I don't think I need to be giving you the second, honestly, at all. Because I think I'll tell you this too. It feels like Tucker Kraft might have been sold high on this trade as well. Like Tucker Kraft coming off of this week, if you're going to sell out of Tucker Kraft shares, this is about as good of a week to do it. 2 touchdowns. I still love him, but he's a tight end at the end of the day. So,
I mean, Cornelius Funk is trying to compete for the playoff spot, and he already had Josh Allen and Baker Mayfield at quarterback, so I guess he has a little bit of a luxury with Dak Prescott. Shockwave is dead last in tanking, so.
Oh, is that Shockwave's third?
Yeah.
All right, so you're saying there's not actually that much in that
Could
swap?
be a difference of 4 to 5 picks.
Yeah. Okay. I think the trade makes sense personally. The second and the third, I might have just told you, like, dude, even then, like, I don't know why I need to give you that upside, even if it ends up being super minimal. But I get it. I definitely get it for either side here. If you're in a position where you have to have a quarterback, though, even in this superflex landscape, you're not going to typically find a better way to get a guy like Dak than this.
Pretty cheap buy for, he's going to be playing for Dallas for the next, 4 years, 5 years at least.
Yeah, I don't know if people missed or caught that, the whole Jerry Jones caving at the sign of someone needing money, you know.
He's going to be their quarterback, so if I'm tanking, you're going to let me get into a guy that I know is going to be hovering around QB1 territory for the next 4 or 5 years. And it cost me a running back and a tight end. The Smitty part hurts, but then you get the Pittman in the second thing to kind of lessen that blow. Like, that's a pretty cheap way to get a quarterback onto your dynasty roster for the future. I mean, it really is.
Yeah, I think this trade honestly makes sense. I think but I'll tell you this, Mike, if I'm contending, I know Pollard is a running back that could end up being dead in any one of these weeks. I feel like for his production right now, actually is one of the guys I'm kind of interested in. Like the usage and the way I think that this offense should be running through Pollard. I feel like getting Pollard and Smitty is a pretty nice little 1-2 punch there. Yeah. But, you'd have to tell me that – I guess the other question is, like, can Cornelius Funk really afford to not have Dak at Superflex? Like, how bad does it get?
So Josh Allen, Baker Mayfield, and then Derek Carr is his third.
I'm fine. You tell me Baker. Mike, I guess that's the thing with Dak. Right now, to me, the reason I feel this way is because – Baker's I definitely want Dak, but yeah, like if I can find a way to get a guy like Baker or someone else cheaper than Dak, that is, I guess, the trade-off right now in the landscape of Dynasty, where I think it makes sense to get off of Dak for the name value if I can. But to your point, if you're in a rebuild, Dak might feel old, but Like, I know I got him for 4 years, so that's as good as some of the rookies. I mean, let's call it what it is. Some of these rookies might not be much more useful to your teams than Dak is in 4 years. So I'm good. I think it makes sense for both sides, but I lean the skill side. Okay. This was going to be the thumbnail, but we didn't. I was surprised. I was waiting for a total onslaught of Nico trades. I thought this was going to be the thumbnail of the week, right? Like, What do we do with Nico? Like, a guy goes to IR this year. You got 4 weeks off. People are ready to fucking flee that ship, right? 4 weeks is an eternity. That said, a first in Drake Maye, Mike. We're talking, again, lineup start 10. So it's a 0.75 tight end premium. Not that matters all that much. What do you want here? Nico or Drake Maye in a first?
All depends on where that first is. It really does. Because Nico's the best piece in this deal.
The way that this trade screenshot looks, Mike, this is in league chat. The fact that there's not a name, that means that it's Rowdy Tell's pick. So I don't know if you have the lab up or not. I can pull it up if not. But that's
just pulled it up.
Got it. Okay. Bang.
Rowdy Tells. Looks like he got his first back.
Oh. So he's getting a chance to take the first to the bottom and Drake Maye for Nico. Is that right?
Yeah, or if he's just trying to get more flexible. Right now he's sitting in 6th, 3-2. Right.
Okay, Mike. Let's say that's the 105 or the 106, and Drake Maye.
Nico's so fucking good. Where if you wanted,
sure is.
you wanted. People aren't gonna like this, but I'll probably stick with my process of quarterback and give me that mid pick.
Okay.
This class coming up, just kind of insert. It's not probably going to be Tet or Luther Burden.
It won't be
GT
or JT.
You might get another quarterback, right? You might get another Quinn Ewers or a Shedeur Sanders, or you might get the second running back, a surprise one that goes in the first round, something of those lines. A third receiver that emerges. It's probably going to be a pretty decent player. That's going to have a lot of dynasty hype and rookie hype coming in, and Drake Maye. I think I probably lean that on the process, but it's not egregious to say that it's Nico Collins if that's what you prefer.
Yeah, I think. Can I tell you, Mike? I think this really comes down to the flexibility part for me. Like, if I can drive this to go get Luther Burden or Tet, I think I'll take that side because of Drake Maye, right? Like, if you tell me I can get that plus Maye, I take that. But if you're telling me that that it's probably going to be a mid pick, I'm not even going to tell you that the value has to be that differently wrong there. Like, there might be a real scenario where that 105 and 106 turns into a player that's really nice. What's up? What do you got?
We just had a Cade McNamara passing touchdown. What the fuck's going on?
I knew something was up. I didn't think that was possible. So that's good for you, huh?
Wow. Who would have guessed?
But if that's a mid pick though, Mike, I think I'm asking more for Nico. We're not trading him this late just because of an IR stint. He's not dead. His career's not over. His season's not over. I'm not doing that. Nico to me is a top fucking 7, 8, 6 receiver. I'm not doing that.
It could just be those 4 weeks, right? So we lose 6, 7, 8, 9, and then all of a sudden he comes back week 10.
Week 10, you could hate this deal. Before we even get to the draft, you could hate this deal.
And he's out there dumping 20-point fucking games on corners' heads all the time again.
And if you look at it, even a bad hamstring injury, Mike, like in a month, he could end up looking a lot better. He could end up looking pretty fine, right?
Yep.
Like,
yep.
I can't do this. I can't do it. I want Nico. It's not Rashee Rice. If this is Rashee Rice, Mike, I'll take Drake Maye in the first.
Much different scenario, right?
This is Nico Collins. No.
Yep.
I've dunked on Nico enough in my days. No more.
I get
all
you.
right? No more. No
I
more.
Get you, man. Yeah.
Oh, what's up? Dynasty Football Key. A pile of poop with a face. That's awesome. I wish that the sticker actually came across as not a chat. Yeah,
that'd be nice. YouTube chat guys can see it. We can't.
Son of a bitch.
I just have to envision it so it spells it out.
Well, let me take it off here, and you guys can see it on YouTube. All right, Mike. Appreciate it, Dynasty Football Key. Really do appreciate that, buddy. Mike, I'm taking Nico here. Let's move to the next trade. I'm curious to hear what people think in the chat on this one. I know you, and unsurprisingly, still want the value side of the process with Drake Maye, and I get it. If Drake Maye ends up being a player, like if he ends up being a player for fantasy football rosters, I have no doubt in his prospect profile or talent personally, Mike. But if he turns into a fantasy football relevant superflex QB, maybe that other side ends up winning out. I'm just currently of the mindset that Nico's too valuable. Let's talk again about another receiver on IR. Puka Nacua in the fourth, Mike, for Gardner Minshew and Tyreek Hill. Can I tell you about this one where Philly Wiz is without flaw here? Like, if we've waited on Puka, this is where I don't understand trades like this. You've been waiting on Puka. Like, you have waited on him, sat on this value for weeks and weeks and weeks. We're getting closer to the return. Why now? This seems stupid to me. What are we doing? Like, Tyreek Hill or Puka Nacua right now, even where Puka's at, it's definitely Puka. And you can have your fucking Gardner Minshew. I don't care. East Atlanta Santa, come on. You're supposed to be better than this.
I guess it would really depend on me. When's Puka coming back and what's he look like when he's healthy? Like, is it back to last year Puka, or is it kind of like slow start to the season Puka? I don't really know. What I do know, though, is Tyreek Hill next week gets Tua Tagovailoa back, and Tyreek hasn't been slowed down by injury himself. It's been piss poor quarterback play that's kind of nuked Tyreek Hill. So
right. Well, I guess that's.
I don't know if I'm sitting here as a contender. Gardner Minshew really isn't shit, but I don't know. Neither really is Aiden O'Connell. So I'd imagine for the cost of a fourth, I'm gonna fuck around and maybe I'll have Gardner Minshew start some games later if I need him to.
Sure.
I might actually take Tyreek Hill's side here on this one, Adam.
Ugh, can't do it. Tyreek Hill, my problem with him too is, Mike, like, Tyreek Hill he wasn't setting the world on fire like the old Tyreek Hill was when Tua was playing. So, like, my biggest problem is Tua in this current concussion. I think he's going to play. I think he's going to come back. I'm not telling you he's done for the season or anything like that. He's going to come back. I don't know that he's incapable of getting another hit where, like, this current version of Tyreek Hill, unfortunately, has nothing to do with the player, I believe. It has everything to do with the situation. Like, if you told me in a vacuum that you knew this situation was going to be the case, we're not even having a discussion, right? Like, we can both agree on that. Tyreek Hill with Tua, there's an upside there. Like, here's my thing. I don't with Puka Nacua, when he comes back, healthy or not, or how healthy he's going to be, definitely can make a case there. I also don't know how healthy Cooper Kupp's going to be. And I'm seeing plenty of receivers in this offense that are doing enough. Jordan Whittington, Tutu Atwell at certain spots here where Puka's too young and too valuable in Dynasty for me to make this bet on the short term. Where, if you told me Tyreek Hill was playing with Tua right now like we expected, I get it. There's too many ifs still in this type of a trade for me to get off of Puka right now when I've already waited. How many weeks have we waited for Puka while he's hurt? Right. 6? Like, it's just getting crazy, brother, for me.
So what we saw, at least from Tyreek Hill, was week 1 with healthy Tua. Went out and put out 26 fantasy points.
Great
Wide
week.
receiver 4 on the week. Smashed. Second week, Tua struggled in the early part of the game. The whole offense was terrible, and then Tua got concussed.
Yep.
So, and then it was kind of cooked from there. Like, that
100%.
offense was Skylar Thompson and fucking Tyler Huntley of grossness. So,
Yep.
Puka, I mean, what we saw 4 catches before he went out with the injury, and we haven't
got hurt
heard
in
anything
week 1,
about him
right?
since. Yeah, so
Yeah.
we haven't heard anything since. I don't think it's crazy to say the Tyreek Hill side. At least, I don't know where these two teams are at as far as competing or whatnot. But if I kind of maintained as East Atlanta Santa, and I think maybe it might be a game or two before Puka's like up and fully going again.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of just bank on Tyreek Hill getting back to being a 20-point dude, right? Taking the top off. Here's the thing, like, how much both wide receivers have disappointed expectations because of injury and circumstance, right, to this point.
Sure.
How much difference was there in our pre-season process between the two?
Not a ton. I would have told you based on, well, if I'm contending, there's not a ton. Obviously, that would be a big caveat in the situation, but not a ton based on the preseason. If we're going going for the gold. The reason I think that that's such a different conversation, though, Mike, is now here's my thing. If I'm at this point, Puka Nacua is potentially back by week 8. It could be later. He's not guaranteed to be back by week 8. That was a rough projection. Let's even say it's not week 9. Like, we're getting closer and closer. For me, if I'm getting off of that chip, I'm looking for something either that has more value insulation than Tyreek Hill, or that has more certain production coming. At this point, I've waited too long to toss this chip in for it to possibly be a 30-year-old wide receiver that is not going to produce for me at the rate that I'm looking for to go contend, right? Because that's for me where this one is puzzling at the timing of doing it. I'm not even going to tell you that I would. Am I going to tell you, sit here and say that I'm surprised that Tyreek Hill ends up getting back to Tyreek Hill levels? Of course not. He's the cheetah, man. But I'm scared enough, not because of Tua per se, his situation. Tyreek Hill in some of these games has not been as consistent. Down the stretch last year, he did have a great week 1. Week 2 didn't look good before the injury. I just don't bank enough on Tyreek Hill's value insulation or production side to pivot off of Nacua for this at this time. If I could get a different receiver or a different type of trade, I don't know what was out there. Those would be something I'm a lot more interested in than Tyreek here in this one.
Here's the final nail in the coffin, right? I gave you my spiel about Tyreek Hill. But what it remains is East Atlanta Santa's team shit, and Philly was without is super shit and tanking. So you take that context into it, and it's Puka Nacua, and it's not a fucking question.
Absolutely. You're getting risky going the Tyreek Hill side if you were doing that, and that's if you're contending. So East Atlanta Santa is handing out presents early. It's Christmas come way early, buddy, you know? You muted here. Sorry.
I was going to say, imagine that. He's got a Cowboys logo, so just handing out fucking gifts.
You know what? That Cowboys logo is a sneaky East Atlanta Santa sign, right? Like, what a great – just giving away presents, giving away everybody. All right, Mike, let's get to Christian has left us high and dry, but continues weekly almost to make the trade show. It's amazing. Speaking of giving out gifts, Blitz, appreciate you always considering him.
He's got all that free time up there in Bristol.
Apparently, Bristol's a good gig, man. He doesn't have to get jammed up trying to make all this stuff for us, and he's up there crafting dynasty trades. What do you think of this one? This one to me, pretty easy, honestly. Is the Christian side. Kyler Murray, Devontae Smith in a second, Mike, or Jalen Hurts, Pickens, and Tyrone Tracy. Lineup start 10 has been our format the last 3 trades. Here's the thing. To me, the difference between Pickens and Smitty is becoming sizable. It was not necessarily, let's say, in week 2 or in the preseason. I would have definitely have wanted Smitty, but I think the case to tear down to Pickens isn't that bad. That gap's becoming bigger. And Tyrone Tracy for a second is just egregious. Like, it's absolutely fucking it's a travesty. So even if you have Jalen Hurts ahead of Kyler, which I still do, but I think that's becoming a lot closer. No. This is easy Christian side for me.
Yes, smash because of all the reasons you said, man. Like Hurts and Murray have become a lot closer. I still prefer Hurts, but if you like Kyler close enough, I don't really give a shit.
Go get him, man.
Smitty way over Pickens. Oh
my god, the Tyrone Tracy part of this deal kind of is irrelevant, but at the same time, it's so relevant, dude. Tyrone Tracy for a second after last week is seemingly just. This is cashing out for the bag of bags, brother.
Because I've seen this with a player that we had on the deal earlier. You know, people put him on their auto accept trade block. Would you rather pay a second for Tyrone Tracy or a second for Kareem Hunt?
Say that again. Pay
a second for Tracy or pay a second for Kareem Hunt?
Oh, stop it! I mean, I'm probably not doing either. But if you told me which one I'm going with, it's going to be the Kareem Hunt side. Sure, Tyrone Tracy. Yeah, sure. Tyrone Tracy has in this, you're telling me I have to make one of these 2 trades. I'm taking the Kareem Hunt. The thing about Tyrone Tracy is I think he might have just made it a muddled disaster when it's him and Singletary.
Mm-hmm.
But he doesn't. Singletary didn't die. He's not gone.
No.
Even if you wish he did, he's not. So Kareem Hunt right now, Mike, in that backfield, everything else is dead in my opinion. So
yeah,
while Kareem Hunt definitely
Eric McKinnon off the street.
Likely because they brought in Kareem Hunt. They're going back to the dead trade or pickups. Kareem Hunt, though, dude, say what you want. Like, you can see in his face he looks older, okay? He doesn't look quite as young and spry when you watch just the person. But then when you see him with the ball, Mike, it looks – I know it's early. His body could break down. There's a lot of time. Movement-wise, he didn't look like he's been sitting on the couch. I mean, he looks halfway decent, actually, back
looks
there.
Good.
So, yeah.
Looks good. No,
With you. I
think both asking prices are stupid at this point, but
I'm not making either.
Double.
Right. If you told me I had to pick, though, Tyrone Tracer or Kareem Hunt, I'm taking Kareem Hunt. All right, Mike. Let's get into hopefully not La La Land. Kilmo, you know what? I like what Kilmo did. He's like, listen, I want the A-Rich that we had hoped for because the current A-Rich is not feeling so good, huh? I like that, though, with the Florida 15. Plank Crew and Kilmo. We got two premier shitheads making trades here, Mike. Which side do you want? Andy Dalton, Jaden Reed, and Brian Thomas Jr., or Christian McCaffrey, Braylon Allen, Ladd McConkey in a first?
That pick is going to mean a lot. Pick's going to mean a lot because if you just break it down outside the pick, though, I'll take Jaden Reed over Christian McCaffrey.
For sure.
All right, and Brian Thomas over Braylon Allen, Ladd McConkey by a fucking country mile.
Mike, I think I would trade you right now. Now, this is one of those things where in the process play, tiering, I talked about on Money Moves, and I still believe if you're tearing down for the right asset, Brian Thomas is a little bit overvalued, okay? But if I'm tearing down all the way to Ladd McConkey for a first that could end up being late, like Brian Thomas Jr. trades for more than that, though. So even if you don't believe or want to have Brian Thomas as this wide receiver 8 and keep trade cut value, like you think you're overpaying a little bit there, I'm telling you, you can still pivot him for something very nice. I think Brian Thomas over those three players isn't crazy. You tell me you get Andy Dalton on top of it, definitely I'll take that side. I think what really
first late, by the way.
I figured that's what it would be. And the reason I think this one is actually this. I talk about timing. This week's trades, Mike, for timing for me are so puzzling because, okay, Mike, if it's week 1, Christian McCaffrey ended up missing, we're thinking maybe he'll be back in a few weeks. Fine. You get off Christian McCaffrey for this value, like you get this type of – the Christian McCaffrey dynasty value, Mike, is so far lower than what people want to admit. It is worlds lower, dude. We're talking about a game where we're playing for the long haul, and Christian McCaffrey is showing that his long haul may be long done. Like, it might be over for him. Like, there's no value there. That value to me is fraudulent as hell. So, Jaden Reed over Christian McCaffrey by quite a bit because even if Christian McCaffrey comes back, you can't tell me that Christian McCaffrey steps on the field and is going to guarantee play the rest of the season whenever that is.
No. I like this one. I'll take Jaden Reed, Brian Thomas, put him in the lineup right now. Gets me off to 0 in the speculation of Christian McCaffrey. Braylon Allen, I'd start him in a flex if I had to. Like in an emergency, that's it. Ladd McConkey's probably not starting for a good team.
Lakeland stand up yet again. And you know what, Kilmo? I've been coming for you. Never miss a good chance to dunk on some Kilmo here, you know?
Poor guy.
I will say another thing is, like, Braylon Allen to me is another very fraudulent dynasty asset at the time. I've been on Money Moves with him, like, sell. If Breece Hall can't get it done, people, if Breece Hall can't get it done, I don't know why Braylon Allen will unless he's given the entirety of the backfield. Like,
probably ain't happening.
Mike, you and I both have been very high on the player, the prospect. We've loved him. I'm telling you, at spots, he looks great. He's fun to watch, but top 20 running back dynasty?
Wow.
Mike.
It's like the Tajay Spears shit from last year, ain't it?
It is. It's very much that way where it's like, I get what you want to see, but guess what, guys? The math doesn't work here. Braylon Allen isn't taking his job from Breece Hall. He may not actually make it a 50-50 split, let alone a 60-40 split. Like, no.
Yeah, we're good. We good.
Yeah, we good. Speaking of good, go get yourself some good signed shit. If you want to have your deals featured on this show, you want us to roast you, tell you how great it was, tell you how much you absolutely flee somebody, patreon.com/South Harmon. $5 a month gets you into the part of the Discord that gets you access to the completed trades channel and also so many other shitheads just like you. that are looking to get over on people in their dynasty leagues. And by the looks of the trades, Mike, it's happening weekly. Unless we're talking shithead on shithead crime, we're grading mostly wins for the shithead audience. So worth the $5 at least.
I like it too. Like you and I are, we put out videos about selling people here lately.
Yeah.
Over the last few weeks. And we're a good, solid, 80%. All right. There's always the one where somebody's got to come back and be like, you guys fucked that up.
Of course.
For you, it might be Brian Thomas Jr. For me, it happened to be Drake London, the night before I dropped the video.
Listen, I won't bet 100. All right. If I do, I will let you know, and I will be insufferable. But I won't bet 100. Okay, that's part of just the way that it works. Geist has a question for us here. CMC or Kamara? I think we answered this on AMA, but let's answer it again.
Kamara.
Same. What's the upside for? Because here's, I guess, the question that to me very clearly answers it. Kamara. There's two questions that will lean Kamara. Right now, who's going to score more points for you?
Kamara.
When CMC comes back, who's going to score more points for you? You don't actually know. It could be either. So Mike? There's no guarantee on whatever the timeline that we don't have. Right? We have a non-timetable return for Christian McCaffrey, and when he comes back, there's no magic guarantee Christian McCaffrey's going to score all those points relative to Kamara, who's smashing. So, what the hell are you waiting for?
I'm not a doctor either. I'm not.
You're not?
So I have no idea the prognosis, but tendonitis in both Achilles that has kept you out for what probably by the time he comes back is going to be 8 weeks. Does it feel like something at a running back position at a little bit more of an advanced age that I really want to feel very comfortable investing in? All right,
listen, I've been fortunate enough not to have Achilles injuries. Okay, I've seen one in person. Actually a couple, and I've been right next to one. It sounds like a gunshot. It's scary. He hasn't torn them, but Mike, I'll tell you this: Achilles tendonitis in 2 of them seems like something that doesn't sound very good at all. Here's my question to you, actually, and everyone watching. Jordan Mason goes down. I think I'm just going to call it what it is. There's people silently a little bit looking for the successor and the next person, who's going to take over this situation. It's just unfortunately part of the negative thing that comes with fantasy football, right? That people don't like to talk about, but we all know is real. We all know is real. Mike, do you think that – let me ask you this. If Jordan Mason ends up having this shoulder injury a little more severe, let's say he doesn't go on IR, but he's going to definitely miss a couple weeks, right, until he gets better. If Christian McCaffrey magically comes back, okay, now that Jordan Mason isn't leading the charge, hey, Christian, we're going to need you actually pretty soon. That, I think, is not going to happen, but would be a very big boost to Christian McCaffrey, in my opinion. If, all of a sudden, hey, we know this guy's actually just been trying to slow play this because Jordan Mason's playing so well. That would be one thing that I would be keeping my eye on. Oh, shit, they just called McCaffrey to come play. That'd be huge.
It would be. And then, too, if Isaac Rendo keeps ripping off 70-yard runs every now and then.
Well, thank God he did. I was getting ready to go hide. I was getting ready to go hide, Mike. Oh, no. He salvaged his whole fucking night on that one run. Buddy, it was looking a little bit like, I'm not going to say the vision was poor, but he just did not look, he didn't look Jordan Mason like, he didn't. I'm just going to say this, okay? Jordan Mason has not been very high in Mike and I's rankings for a long time. If you can't look like Jordan Mason, I'm beginning to worry a little bit,
He looked much better than Jordan Mason on that run, though, because Jordan Mason can't do that shit.
Well, I was also like, dude, please don't get caught. Garendo, you run a 4.33, don't get caught. And then he at least slid at the end to even if he did get caught, it looked like he didn't. So definitely a good thing. I'm
mad at whoever was screaming at him on the sideline to go down. Fuck out of here. Let him go, man.
Why? And how come Kyle Juszczyk, this great team player, he gets to run it in. He's gets to go with his wife,
They just want to show him. Yeah, they just want to show him jumping in the fucking stands.
So what? So she could sell another jacket to Taylor Swift. Come on, we know what the deal is. Let Garendo get his shine, for God's sakes.
Bullshit. This is bullshit.
This house is bullshit. All right, I think. Do I think Pacheco will make Hunt not startable? I think.
Pacheco's back this year, but it doesn't sound like that's going to be.
I think Pacheco's timeline for return is not going to be a certain one. And I guess the other problem is going to be, Mike, I think with this injury, again, not doctor, this is an injury where, with what we've seen from the running backs, and just, I'm not certain Pacheco's even going to be all that spry looking at all when he is back.
Here's the crazy thing, man. Right? I've heard it from Chiefs fans, just sporadically. No, I'm not there yet, Adam. I'm not there yet. But after last week, the way Kareem Hunt was running the football, and you said it was early. You said it was early, and he doesn't look old and crusty like he did last year in Cleveland.
Yeah,
he was still productive in Cleveland. He just looked old and kind of gross.
He looked like he was ready to go to the grave. You're not wrong.
He looked spry. I've heard Chiefs fans say that even if Pacheco was back healthy, they'd still prefer Kareem Hunt running the football.
And in this offense, aside from when Jerick McKinnon just is the best third down back, they've actually preferred just using one, right? So I wouldn't be surprised if Kareem ends up being that. Appreciate that. Chasing Breakers, going to keep bringing him. He says he was able to swap JSN for a Dunze in his home league.
Money.
Well done. Money moves, Chasing Breakers. Appreciate that. I'll keep bringing him. And I'll tell you what, buddy. Mike, we're doing videos over here. Mike and Maddie did one. Make sure you go check that one out if you haven't. That was, for me, pretty fun. Getting to see two of the best at South Harmon team up. Get a nice video out there. We have Fizzle Fridays going every week. There's so many videos on our channel worth watching every single week, buddy.
Good stuff, man. Money Moves is always dynamite and fire every time you drop that one. We just got to get better at we gotta tease the people, let them know what is coming.
I know. Well, the problem is I'm always trying so hard to get it out that it's like, all right, but when it's finally ready, it's like, come on, it's got to be out there. I'm trying to get closer to keeping a Thursday release date on it, but you're not wrong. That said, Mike, another week of trades in the books. I didn't get one this week. I didn't really feel like there was many that came my way that were exciting, but sometimes you're better off not making a trade than forcing one through.
We didn't even get the other one on the show.
Didn't you just make one like yesterday or something recently? 2 days ago?
2 days ago. Or yesterday. Yeah, it might have been yesterday.
That's all right because we'll have it. At least we'll have that to start off next week's with. That one I thought was even better than the trade you made.
Yeah, that's all right though. We gotta shout out Barry. Barry's Triple Crown League. Fun. I hope he does another one next year.
Johnny, now you know why I do. Why I do this as my full-time job. It's kind of the same thing, right? Like just all I have to do is get on.
That's wild. He says that. I'm spending my birthday in Cleveland.
Look out there, buddy. It is 3:30. Okay, 2:30 your time. Now I know that looks white. That is as gray. It is almost dark outside, boss. It is. You don't want to be here, trust me. But I'm still here to bring you trades. Mike's here to bring you trades. We're here to bring you content. We love you, Mike. Any final thoughts before we get the fuck out of here?
Yeah, Iowa scored 40 points against last year's national champion runner-up, Washington Huskies. Welcome to the Big Ten, motherfuckers. God, Adam, I can't wait until I'm going to predict it. I'm going to say it, and I'm going to say it for you. Okay? I do not like Ohio State. I do not because they always kick our ass and they're always good.
Sure.
But I can't wait till tonight till Ohio State beats the living shit out of Oregon.
I mean,
welcome to the Big Ten, bitches.
They should. I mean, I think one of the things is that the talent gap, though, from Ohio State relative to teams like that has been Ohio State. Unfortunately, Ohio State is not always, especially in the Michigan matchup, coached the way that they should be. That said, this game on paper, I think, Mike, could be ugly, and I pray it is because I'm kind of – the whole Nike thing has really put Oregon in a different class than they really should be, buddy. I believe, honestly. Like cool jerseys are fire. The guy who has the singular greatest by a country mile like company as far as clothing and gear goes.
Yeah.
Oregon, sure, okay. But everything looks are not always as they appear, Mike. Not every book should be judged by its cover. Ohio State by 21.
Good. Jeremiah Smith with 237 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah. JSN shit when we thought JSN was him versus Utah, right?
Yeah, that kind of shit. Last time we saw an elite receiver at Ohio State play.
You motherfucker.
I want to fucking see it. Let's go, man.
You motherfucker. Not bad. All right. We love you. We'll see you back here. Same time, same place next week for the Dynasty Trade Show and all your trades. Patreon.com/South Harmon. We love you. We're out of this thing.
Peace.
Peace.